crack here. It got too dry, and then I tried to build off. And I thought I got it, but it's cracked. Not bad, but a little bit. So I have to fix mine. I'm gonna show you. You need a tool like this, a wooden tool that's thin, but blunt, so not sharp. Something that's thin and sharp, like a metal tool. You need slip that has a lot of paper, which is fiber, sand, or grog, and clay.
But the paper, when you bisque, it will
Burns
off.
out. Yep.
And it will leave the space between.
Technically, yeah, there's like tiny, the paper fibers are very small, but yes, technically. But what it does in the greenware strength is it really helps, it makes it much stronger right now before it goes in the kiln. And the paper acts like little straws almost, wicking moisture. It pulls moisture from here in together, so it helps that way. First step is to actually make the crack bigger, because sometimes it's very hard to tell. It looks like it's a small crack, but underneath it's larger. So I always trace and make it bigger, and I trace a little bit further out. So this crack luckily is not that, like it's not even all the way through.
Mine is
through. Yours is through. So yours will probably take a handful of doing it. But see this, you want to trace all the way and beyond that edge a little bit. Right here, yeah, you're all the way open, so it'll be mostly there. Next step, so when this works, it works because you've created a gap and then you've compressed enough clay into the gap that that the clay inside of here doesn't shrink enough to open back up. And so you're really just compressing. It's like plugging a hole with, like pushing a ton of stuff in it. That's what's going on. When you first start to score, because it's so brittle and dry, it wants to just crack the edges. It's okay, you have to go through it. And the reason we do it when it's at bone dry is this clay has finished shrinking, minus its chemical water. Like most of it's shrinking prior to the kiln is done. I mean, it will shrink again in the kiln, but sometimes if you fix a crack when it's like leather hard and you spend all this time, it just shrinks more and the crack opens up again. When you're doing this way, you do sometimes have to fix it more than once. I will probably do these at least twice, even though they're not very big or deep. So I'm roughing it up. You can get like a syringe, which I used to have and it works really well. I think it's actually in the gray toolbox now. I want to try and keep the water just where I need it. Don't spray water all over your bone dry piece, because the water, the particles absorb and try and push away again and back and forth, and it gets really weak and can cause cracking. So if you're lucky, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it, but it
goes inside.
Yeah, it's a capillary reaction, I think, where it pulls it. But you know what I'll do is I'll put it right on here and just follow. Yeah, something like that. I'm gonna come back and score again. It's a little better, but it's still, what this does at first is the clay's so dry, it's just like the surface looks wet and absorbs all of it, and then right underneath the surface, it's just really dry again.
But this one, it's already dry, very, very dry. And when you apply the clay, it's wet. So by doing this, you scratch a little bit of your original, like a sand right now. So hopefully when you touch it, and they will get connection with the old one, right?
Yes, exactly,
But
and that's
still
why you are scoring.
The moisture is still different.
Yes.
So after this dry, and will it be like a crack?
It might.
Yeah.
Like yours will probably crack for sure. You'll put this in, and it won't, and then it's gonna dry and it'll crack.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to do it 2 or 3 times. So it cracks, and then you just scrape it again. But instead of cracking this big, now it only cracks this big, and then this big, until you packed it the whole time. Yeah. So I fixed really big holes doing this, like an absence, like this. But and I've been putting things in the kiln before, and they've fallen and broke. and I put them back together,
Oh.
and then put it right in the kiln and gone to cone 6,
Uh-huh.
and it stays together. So it definitely works. You just have to take a little bit of time, especially at that size crack. And you can see I'm already on my 3rd time doing this, but I'm probably going to do it between 3 and. I don't have an exact number for you.
Uh-huh.
I will show you what it should feel like or look like, but probably between 3 to 5 times.
For my crack, I was thinking on the bottom I seal it, but on the top, can I put like glass so it will show the crack?
It might be a little hard to get that to work, but yeah, it's possible to like
But-
close it on one side of it and not
Yeah,
on the other.
it
It might be a little hard to finesse, but so as I'm doing this, it's a lot more wet now, right? It's a lot
Yeah,
more like wet
yeah,
clay.
yeah.
But there's a few spots that as I go deeper are still dry.
Yeah.
So I'm just spinning it like right here. I don't know if you can see, but it's actually a different color,
Yeah.
right? So I'm spending a little more time there because I want that to be a little more wet. Trying to avoid long drips. Not the end of the world, but it can cause cracks later.
At the beginning? No.
This is all I've done. Yeah, you see. Yeah, this is all of it. So this is just the clay that's there. I'm just prepping. And if I decide I'm doing this on a piece because it takes time, I take my time and do this because I don't want to spend another hour and just have it crack anyways.
Yeah.
I'd rather spend the whole time to get it fixed, you know.
No wonder Tommy asked me to redo.
Yeah. Which I used to,
always said this.
and that's a really it's good. It's a good thing to redo it. When I was making pots all the time, when I learned to make pots, that's always the answer because it's really good to have iteration. You get better at throwing. Pots in some ways sometimes are quick, sometimes they're not. But the first time I spent like a month making something and it cracked, I wasn't going to redo it. I was just going to fix the crack, you know. And so the longer things took and the bigger and more complex they got in terms of their processes is when I started to learn to fix things because it's a part of making anything.
Yeah.
Where that's probably a little too much at first. You see all the paper fibers
Yes.
at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, that makes it really very strong. So I'm just gonna mix this up. I wish it was a little sandier, to be honest. That's okay.
1/3 sand, 1/3 paper, 1/3 clay.
Yeah.
You want more sand?
1 of 3.
Let's see what this feels like in a second. So I want to slip. It's really like a sandy paper clay is what you're making. So maybe think about it like that instead of slip. That you can roll into a little coil. So I'm going to roll this into a coil in a minute. Put it in there and then compress it. So I'm just rolling a coil, folding it in half. This is a way of mixing. It really could be sandier. So for yours, I'd recommend let's add some more sand first. But I'm gonna mix a little more, and then we're gonna go for it.
Do you want to add more sand?
I think mine is going to be okay, but I think for yours we should. What kind of clay is that?
This one.
It is okay. Just looks.
White
That's what this
stoneware.
is too. It just looks so different, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Different texture.
But
I mean, this is
you're not
reclaimed.
white stoneware, you're more groggy.
I mean, yeah. This like white stoneware is like the clay body. I mean, yeah. Okay. Grog's kind of generally considered like an inclusion or an additive, but it's true. Like Trinity sells white stoneware with grog or with extra grog, so there's a little bit in there. So this, yeah, this should be sandier, but if you tear it in half, there's all little paper fibers at the end. You guys will
Yeah.
realize and see, and that's good. That's what you want. So take a little bit of this. I'm gonna roll a coil, small coil. I showed someone this once. I was fixing a big crack, like in the bottom of a pot that I throw, and it's like it was like this big. I still have it at home, and it worked. I fixed it a number of times, and they were like, oh, "You should write an article for Ceramics Monthly on how to do this." So I'm gonna give it a little more water, just because it's been drying for a second. And now, with this coil, I am going to follow that crack here, pull off the extra. So that won't do anything. It's just gonna fall. It might actually stick, but it's not gonna fix the crack. What you really have to do here is use this side. You can use this side too if you need to. But the goal is going to be to compress this clay in to the crack, to the void that you've made by opening it up as much and as deep as you can. So that was once. If there's the more sand, the faster it dries.
Oh.
So we'll see how fast this goes. We can see I'm going back and I'm just pushing it in further and further. That's even deeper. What I then do is I take this edge, or burr almost, it's like a burr. I'm gonna fold it back over.
Push again.
And push again. I'm really just going to keep doing this until it gets drier. What has to happen, if the clay just stays wet the whole time and you keep pushing it, then you keep like squishing it out. And you see how dry this is and wet, like it peels right off. So sometimes what I'll do is get a compression pass. I'm gonna call this a compression pass. I'll push this over in preparation. And then while that sits up for 5-10 minutes, I'll come back and do it again once it'll drier, and then again, and then scrape it clean. And what I'll do then is move on to the next one, if there is another one. So like for yours, you probably won't do the whole thing in one pass. You'll probably work in like 2 or 3 sections. So same thing, I'm just gonna do this a little bit, and then I'll go back to the other one and finish it. Some of these cracks on mine really might not even show up.
Why this crack happens?
This happened, I was doing this with my Ceramics 1 students for their project, and this got really dry.
Okay.
And so then I added a lot of slip and took time to try and re-wet that edge to attach, and it attached okay, but it cracked because there was a disparity in shrinkage. They didn't shrink together. One had more water than the other.
I think I opened too early. So when it dry, here is dry. So I open it, but I think the bottom is still wet.
Yeah, it might be a compression issue. Are you using a sponge to like smooth your clay?
Yeah.
You know, adding water, water is there to avoid friction and to get things to stick together. It causes as many problems as it does fix things. So like smoothing things out with the sponge is adding a lot of water, and it can cause cracks, especially on things that are
But
whiter.
When I first do the compression,
You use the rib.
I use this one, and
Oh.
after that I always use the
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can probably skip the sponge.
okay.
Just go right to the rib. Okay, so this is stiffer now. Still not super stiff, but now I can come back and put a little bit more pressure.
Absolutely, they're right in there.
So it's wet right there.
Look that up.
Stiffer.
Underneath the cloth thing, there's that zipper thing. Yep.
So if I was doing this on my own and I wasn't demonstrating it, I would wait again, and I would push that in one more time. I'd let it get a little stiffer, push it in again. But I'm going to show you, and I'd really keep doing this, folding it in, pushing it in until this was almost all the way dry. Which, if there's a lot of sand, happens in like 20 minutes. But what I would do then, and say I've gone as far as I can, it's dry, I take this tool usually, and I'll scrape it flush. And I can see that, oh, if I want to fill, I need to fill a little bit more there. And so later I can open it back up. If I want to, I can come back and compress more.
Okay, yes. Don't hurry, I'm not going anywhere.
So that was like pass number 1. And I think that I will do 2. So if I'm doing another one, I will usually compress and leave this line so I know where to slip and score next time. Because for the second one, I'm not really going to open it all back up. I'm going to just come back and score. And then I keep this dry stuff in here because you need it at different consistencies. Sometimes softer, sometimes drier. Yeah. And that'll do it. Do that 2 or 3 times. Maybe a few more for the one that you're doing. Yeah. Just see, like you basically just do it once, wait a day, and if it cracks again, do it again. You have to do it till it stops cracking. I was like, why is it getting darker? I figure it out. Not super complex, especially on a big thing like this, but a little bit time consuming and a little bit rigorous, but it works. You can fix your pieces this way. So I'll probably let mine dry and see if it opens up and if I really need to do it anywhere else. That I don't think I can have any like huge examples to show you.